Logan Paul and Dylan Dennis thing. So I guess a couple questions here. One, do you guys think that Dylan has gone, and I would like to go around the table fully so we can give everyone a chance to answer. Do you think that Dylan Dennis is going too far by posting these photos of Logan Paul's fiance with various other men? And do you take quarrel with... Dylan Dennis is saying that she's been with 75 guys before Logan. And a lot of people are arguing, well, he's a successful guy, attractive guy. Could he get somebody who's had less previous sexual partners? Maybe that's not part of the calculus for him. In any case, thank you, Flan Life, appreciate it. Do you think that body count matters?
If I'm dating someone, yeah, they're not gonna f someone else. They're not gonna f anyone but me. Like, I am totally into monogamy. But like I said earlier, it's about the ratio, not the number. And when it's people in the public eye like this, they have a lot of opportunities, and their number might seem higher compared to a lot of people that don't have nearly as many opportunities. So I don't think it has anything to do with your number. It has everything to do with your ratio and the opportunities that you're choosing to take or not take. But if you are in a relationship, yeah, like if I'm dating a man, he's not fucking anyone else but me. 1000%.
Do you do BG content on your OF?
Yeah, I do.
But it's only with whoever you're seeing.
We broke up pretty recently, but yeah, I was
okay. So you wouldn't, for example, if you're in a relationship with a guy, you wouldn't do content with another guy.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
Okay.
It was only like me and him because we were in a relationship.
Gotcha. Do you think? Do you take quarrel with men caring about a women's body count?
No, because I said this multiple times. It's about the ratio.
What do you mean?
So I'm super hot, so a lot of guys want to fuck me, and I don't fuck a lot of guys comparatively. But if a girl's not that hot and a lot of guys don't want to fuck her, that number might be kind of high.
Beauty, but I think with the right clothes, the right look,
she doesn't get a lot of opportunities. She doesn't get as many opportunities as I do. It's about the ratio. It's about the ratio.
But okay,
taking opportunities is like the whole thing in life.
The ratio.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is basically, if a girl is very unattractive, then she should have a low body count because she's presumably not having as many opportunities. Whereas if a girl is very attractive, then she
probably has had more opportunities, but it still depends about the ratio.
But how are we even going to know?
It depends. Well, that's why a number does not actually matter.
No, because I will grant
my 10 and her 10 might be completely different.
There's been like times where like some dudes told me like, yeah, I fucked 100 girls. I'm like, yeah, no shit. You go to the club every night,
right?
Like, of course,
if you live in Miami,
I never leave
Vegas.
the house. You know, I'm not like.
Exactly.
That's why I have had sex with almost
the
nobody
ratio
in my prior life.
matters.
Yeah,
exactly.
Who keeps track of this ratio and how is it calculated?
This is the
you
thing.
See those numbers on the screen before?
You could tell though, like. It depends where you live. It depends what you look like. If you're out in Miami, Las Vegas, New York City, partying every night, you probably have a couple guys trying to take you home. And if you go home with 10, over living there for 3 years, that's not a big deal.
What's the difference between a number and a ratio?
Because of how many opportunities you have. If you live in like Ohio, and you've only had 10 opportunities to have sex and you chose all 10 is a big number for you. 10 isn't a big number. If you have had 10,000 opportunities and wants and opportunities that you said no to.
I like that you're sticking to your guns on this ratio.
Because it is a bad ratio. Because it is. Because it actually is. Anyone with common sense actually knows.
Learn anything at college?
The rate? I'm still confused by what the ratio
I don't understand what you're confused
She
about.
keeps tracks of how many guys want to bone her. Okay, and if there's 100 guys and she only sleeps with 2, that's a great ratio.
Right, exactly.
So in her mind, she can know who wants to smash, and
but
therefore,
someone else,
it's like a slut ratio. That's what she's getting at.
It is. Yeah,
like
you
temptation to
explained it
action.
perfectly.
It sounds like.
Some
get it.
girls
I
might
get
say
it.
2, but only had 2 opportunities. That's kind of slutty. But if you had 100 opportunities and only choose 2 men,
Yeah. I get it. I just think
not slutty at all.
It's still.
It's very virgin-like.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
what?
very biblical.
It sounds
Wait,
like you're
what?
saying,
It's very biblical.
but it sounds like you're saying self-control is what.
Yeah.
Like
Completely.
choosing to
Choosing
not-
opportunities,
choosing not to
choosing
have sex.
people. Yeah, 1000%.
So you think it actually shows?
But
that
you
someone,
said you should choose to love someone, and I'm saying you should choose to have sex with them. 2 might be a big number for someone, and it might not be.
But doesn't this contradict
10,
your?
so is 10.
Hold on,
so it
let-
could be
go ahead,
100.
go
But
ahead.
doesn't this contradict your point earlier that we
No.
are just supposed to be in caves sleeping around like rabbits? When now you're saying
Oh, I know. I
restraint-
didn't say we
You're
should
saying
be sleeping-
restraint
Hold on,
of
let him finish, please.
containing your body count based on the ratio is a virtue one should aspire
No,
for.
no.
That's not what you're saying.
No.
That's
I
what you
said
just
we
said.
were all supposed to be naked because
Sleeping
but
around.
Eve ate the apple. No, I didn't say we're. I never
So we're
said
not
we were
supposed to be in a
sleeping
cave
around.
naked but not sleeping
I
around.
said no. If you're in a cave, I only have ever done stuff with my boyfriend on
Okay.
my OnlyFans.
Okay.
And if Eve didn't eat the apple, I would be naked in a cave doing stuff with my boyfriend. There's no doors on caves. Everyone would be just walking around.
I've
Like
seen some
animals.
caves,
If
that's
animals
just saying.
fuck, it's not weird. They're in the wild.
Yeah, but we're not
supposed to-
animals.
animals.
We're not
We are
animals.
though. We
But we're
actually
not.
are.
I
We
think
actually
that- I think
are.
more
the
than
question-
animals.
The
Yeah.
reason why we're not is because society has built us up to such a horrible thing that we're not supposed to be. Like, you could get into like why we wear rubber shoes. Like, we're supposed to be grounding off the universe.
I
Like,
think
we
the question
are
was
animals.
if body
we completely
count
are
matters.
animals.
A body's a
Yeah,
body.
and it's
Does
about the
body count
ratio.
matter, yes
The
or no?
answer is still about the ratio.
Okay.
What is your
Person.
ratio?
Very, very, very low. Compared to how many people want to fuck me, to how many people I've
What's the ratio? Yeah.
1 to 1,000.
So 1,000 dudes want to fuck you. You
More
only-
than 1,000, but
More-
I'm
oh,
just
excuse
choosing
me.
the ratio.
Excuse me, I
The
apologize.
ratio is like point 0.000003. That's the ratio.
Do you keep a notebook?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. 0.00003.
She keeps a tally in
Okay.
her diary.
Good times. Good times. So, your take on the Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis
Oh.
situation?
So we're talking like numbers now, not ratio.
Well,
I'm saying it's not about ratio. I don't know why people are so confused about math.
Forgot about 7th grade math.
No one has common sense.
I mean, I just didn't think it like a number before you're with somebody. I don't know my number.
But that's the thing. But you've
Your
lived
number?
in a bunch of
Are you
cities,
talking like-
so
are
you've
you
had a
talking
bunch of
body count?
opportunities.
Yeah.
You don't know your. Never mind.
No. What?
But this is the thing.
I don't keep track
Me
of
and
that.
her have had a lot of opportunities that we've said no to. And that should be very
I'm
important
sure
in the number.
every woman has
because
a
it's
lot
about
of
the ratio.
opportunities that they've said no to.
Madison, your take.
I think it was very humorous. I don't think he had to bring the whole wifey into it, but
Well, that's
I
the whole
completely-
humorous part, right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, he didn't have to go that far, but it was funny. It was humorous. I absolutely understand why body count matters, and yeah.
So the question is, why does body count matter, or does it matter?
Doesn't
I
matter,
think
yes.
I think that it's completely understandable for someone who has tried to choose virtue and self-control to want that in their future spouse. I completely understand that. I think for anybody who's lived sort of a more promiscuous past, who chooses virtue and says, I don't want to do that anymore, I want to change my life, I think there's a future for that person. So I don't think having a body count in your past means that you can't have a future. But I also understand and appreciate that people that are trying to live virtue want to be with somebody who shares their values.
Yeah, obviously body count matters. Obviously it's harder to pair bond the higher the number of partners you had. Obviously you're more likely to get divorced the higher number of partners you've had. This is all proven through and through. So yes, it matters. The double standard of propping Logan up to be some playboy while making her seem like some slut, I think is a bit weird and kind of one of the non-helpful aspects of our culture. And yeah, it's not the most classiest move, but if they're trying to sell fights, my guess would be is Logan is in on it and he's okay with making as much money as he can. But yes, it matters. Yes, there's redemption. Yes, there's an amazing story arc if these two were to repent and change and go a totally different direction with their lives, which I think is beautiful, that there's always redemption.
Yeah, I mean, I probably agree that I don't agree with like dragging the whole wifey into it. I mean, at 31, it's kind of expected that she's obviously going to have already slept with people. But I do, in my opinion, I think that body count matters, but I think it matters for the person that you're with and the relationship that you're in. And I find that oftentimes people who think that body count doesn't matter is usually coming from people with like really high body counts.
But that also has something to do with the ratio.
The ratio doesn't exist.
Bro, what the fuck?
If someone's like famous,
I
they
think we get
probably
it.
have
I
like
think we
a
get
lot
it.
of people that want to them, so their body count's gonna automatically be higher because they had a lot of opportunities that
But that's
normal
not
people
true.
wouldn't.
I don't think that's
in a
true.
thousand. Look at
Because I think
DMs.
there's a lot of
Look at
people.
DMs.
Yeah, but the DMs don't mean anything. And I think there's a lot of people who can
Opportunities
be
Yo,
mean
please
everything.
stop cutting people off. Go ahead,
I
Isabella.
think there's a lot of people who are attractive and good looking that you can still like refrain from promiscuity and hooking up with people. And there's people who can be like, I guess, super not attractive, but it's like who's like guiding that scale? Like some people find certain people attractive, some people find the same person like super unattractive.
But
Can I
that's actually my whole point. Like, it's about the ratio.
I think it's about
Go
the
ahead,
ratio.
go ahead.
If
Hold
you
on, go ahead.
fell in love with a guy, but you found out he had slept with 10 other girls, would that be like a deal
Bender the
breaker?
offender
Oh.
donated
Hold on just a sec.
$200. To the blondie in the back right, your body count is higher than
My
the
bad.
amount of brain cells you have and you sound like a 90-year-old chain smoker.
Thank
Your
you.
response to Bender the offender?
Yeah, I naturally do have a very raspy voice. I actually used to work as a receptionist. My first job ever after college was a receptionist at a law firm, and everyone that I answered the phone to would say, "I hope you feel better." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not fucking sick, but thank you. I'll transfer you now to the lawyer that you are trying to talk to."